You know, I just can't seem to get clients because I don't have any case studies. I get you. It feels like a kind of a chicken and the egg thing. Like, how do you get clients without case studies? How do you get case studies without clients? You know, maybe I just don't understand why someone would pay me. Have you tried showing clients that you have an actual solution that could help them with their problems? No, but I spent all this morning updating my website, changing the logo color, and then crying in the corner for hours and hours. Have you tried not being a douche? I get what you're saying. I need a 2 Comma Club award. I need a Lambo. I need a TED Talk. I need 3 best-selling books. And I need a smoking hot Playboy Bunny model. Then I can get some clients. Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Why do I bother? What's up, guys? It's Frankie here. And in this video, I want to show you guys how to get clients even if you don't have case studies. I know for a lot of you guys it feels like I can't get clients because I don't have any case studies. I can't get case studies because I don't have any clients. Feels like a chicken or the egg problem, but I'm going to show you actually don't need case studies. And if you understand what a client is actually looking for when they ask for case studies, you can answer their real question, demonstrate you have a real solution for their problem. Ergo, they will stop asking you for this thing. And you're going to find out that case studies are not the magic bullet you think they are as somebody who's had hundreds of them over the years. And show you guys a way around getting this. And if you really understand this, what will happen is it'll become a lot easier to sign clients. It'll become a lot easier to get them. So for those of you guys who don't know me already, my name's Frankie Finn. I wrote these 2 best-selling books here, Beyond the Agency Box, Passive Automated Recurring Income. I also built 3 of my own agencies up to 100 plus clients and have helped thousands of people just like you to build this more beach, less laptop lifestyle. Let's get into the good stuff. Chicken or the egg, right? Got to get case studies to get clients, need clients to get case studies. Wrong. I created something years ago called the 90-Day Challenge. And the 90-Day Challenge was based out of the #1 question I got asked over the last 6 or 7 years of doing this and showing people like you was, if you were me, you're starting over, you're in a brand new niche, you don't have clients, and you want to get to 10K a month as fast as humanly possible, what would you do? In fact, I probably got asked that question like 400 or 500 times, just so you know. Not a unique question. And for years and years, I wondered, should I create a course? Should I create some tools? Should I create some swipe files? How should I answer this problem? And one day I decided, you know what? I'm going to do it, and I'm going to document the process. So that's what I did. And I went into a brand new niche, and I chose as a niche the water damage restoration. So I'm just going to call this water DR. And interesting enough, I picked that niche for a few reasons. One is because I had never heard of it before. Even as somebody who's done a lot of this, I didn't really know much about the industry. I didn't know anybody in the industry. I didn't have any connections. I didn't have any case studies. And also, I was using no budget because I know a lot of you guys, when you're starting out, like it's not like you're sitting on a mountain of 50 grand that you can go use and stick into paid ads to go get some clients. So I decided I'm going to do this with nothing and I will document the process. And I'm happy to report, by the way, that I gave myself 90 days to get to 10K a month and we actually got to 15.6K. And it took us something like, I want to say 26 days, 27 days, 28 days. I don't know, somewhere in that range. I'm going to say 26, but it could be like 28. And this was done in an hour to 3 hours a day. And a big part of this, like, you know, not bragging about myself, but, you know, I've been doing this almost 20 years. So I know like what are the actual correct action steps to take. But I want to show you guys here how you can do the same thing in your video. And by the way, even if you're well past that number, it probably doesn't suck to add an extra 15, 16K in 26 days. That's recurring. So I want to show you guys how to do that. So even if you're not starting at 0, even if you're already at 100,000 a month or more, this will still be valuable to you. So this process I'm going to show you, this is how well it works.
They've done studies, you know, 60% of the time it works every time.
All right. So here's the key thing that I want you guys to understand. When someone asks, do you have a case study? This can feel like they're asking for proof and you don't have proof. Ergo, how do you sign somebody who's asking for proof and you don't have it? But in actuality, there is something deeper that they're actually asking. And I'll tell you, I went through my own journey where in the beginning, I had no case studies and I was starting out and people asked for them constantly and it drove me fucking crazy. And then what ended up happening is eventually we got a few. It took a lot of grinding, but eventually we had a few and I started showing those off. And what I found is when I showed off case studies to clients, a lot of times they still didn't convert. They were actually still unsold, and they were asking for the case study, but they were still not fully convinced. And then eventually we had hundreds of case studies, and they would say, can I look at a case study? And I would say, no. And they would say, why? And I'd say, well, I believe everything you have here is like to decide is right here now. If you're a no, that's totally fine. But we've found all it does is waste our clients' time because you call them and you still don't move forward. And that's totally okay if you don't want to move forward. So if there's a question you got or a reason you don't want to move forward, why don't we just talk about it now? And if it's a no, I'm totally okay with no. So I want to tell you guys that because case studies are not the be all end all that you think they are. What people are really asking is a much more, can you help me? And if you understand that they have had nothing but bad experiences with marketers, there is a reason that they don't automatically trust you. In fact, they look at you a little like this.
I didn't like him anyway. He wasn't right in the hat.
That's how they feel about us. I hate to break it to you. That's only the greatest movie of all time, by the way. Braveheart, for those of you guys who are wondering. Let me show you how I got around this in the restoration space, and you guys can do the same thing in your market, is a lot of times people think this is the formula to getting paid, and they actually have it backwards, okay? And if you switch the order of this, what you'll find is clients will stop asking you for case studies. They will stop asking you for more and more proof that you don't have, because what they're really telling you is, I'm not really sold. There's something about this that doesn't feel right to me. And the reason is, most people think, give me money, and then I will come up with a plan. And I promise you, if you reverse the order of those two things, where it is, I have created the plan for you, now give me money to execute it. So I'll give you an example of this, so you can wrap your head around this. I was part of a thread in one of the communities I'm part of, and somebody said, how did you get your first client? This was one of my favorite stories. So they got a web design client, and somebody had posted in a local Facebook group that, hey, I'm looking to get a website built for my Chinese restaurant. Anybody can help me. Now, those of you guys who know, what happens? They got 200 comments in like the first hour. Me, I know how to make websites. And they weren't one of the first few people, by the way. But what they did is they went home, they went on their computer, and they printed out on a piece of paper that current company's website, and then they went inside of Canva for about 10 minutes and they made a little mock-up of what their website could look like. And then they printed the mock-up out. And so they went to the business and they drove there because they were local, and they had two pieces of paper in their hand. One was this old website and one is this new website. And they pointed to it and they said, hey, this is what your old shitty website looks like now. This is the one I've built you, and I would like to install this for you guys. And they said, that's exactly what we like. Can you just change this one little detail there? But other than that, like, this is perfect. This is exactly what we need. Here's the money. Let's get started. And that's how they got their first client. Now, most beginners think, give me the money, and then I will start making the website. But I promise you, if you get into, I have started making the website, I have a plan, I know exactly what we're going to do together. Just give me money and we will get started. More people will pay you, and they will stop asking for case studies because it will be painful and obvious to them that you know how to solve their problem. So instead of like always feeling like getting hired is something like this.
What are my chances?
Not good.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of 1,000,000.
So you're telling me there's a chance? Yeah!
So instead of feeling like there's the 1 in a million chance, what I want you guys to find out is this is how it's done. So I'll give you an example of how we did this in the restoration space. Okay, so I've done SEO thousands of times, especially in my previous agency, but when I got into contractors, I don't have any testimonials that are relevant to them. I don't have anybody they can call. So what I did is I went into, firstly, the exact keywords. I said, let me pull a report and show you the exact keywords you need to be ranking for. You said you want category 3 flood jobs. Well, let me show you. Are you ranking for emergency flood repair Denver? No, you need to be. Are you ranking for restoration contractor Denver? No, well, you need to be. These are the 20 to 30 keywords that matter the most to you right now. Then I said, these are your exact rankings. Right now. Then I said, these are the exact changes that need to be made to your website. You see the headline here? That headline, you're trying to rank for category 3 flood jobs. Your website just says your stupid fucking name, which nobody cares about. And that's what's showing up in Google. They don't already know who you are. That needs to say best restoration contractor Denver. That doesn't need to say ABC restoration, right? Then I went into their Google business place and I said, look it. You don't have this optimized. You don't have before and after pictures. These are the things you're going to need to do. Then I went and looked at their reviews. And I said, you have 50 reviews and your top competitor, XYZ, has 100. How are you going to beat them? If you got 50 and they got 100, you need to get at least 50 reviews just to catch them. And I would suggest you probably need 100. So we need a plan to get you 100. Okay? So there is a tendency to think. Oh, by the way, we also went into like content. Hey, if you want to rank for these keywords, you need to have content around them. These are the exact articles I want to publish for you. This is your 30-day or your 6-month plan for all the content we want to publish. Now, there is a tendency to think, pay me money, and then I will do these things. And I promise you, it is the opposite. So this is very much a poor and middle class thing. By the way, most people who start agencies don't start out wealthy. I've only met one person who ever started this business who was independently wealthy and then built it up. The vast majority of us started out poor and middle class. And so one of the poor and middle class values is when you go to apply for a job, isn't it like really entirely in the hiring manager's hands? Like they get to decide whether you get to move forward. They get to decide whether you're a worthwhile candidate. They get to decide whether you're going to get the business or not. And so as a result of this, you end up just waiting. You end up just sitting, hoping I get hired, hoping they call me back. And by the way, most people who, like Andrew mentioned this the other day, most people who apply for jobs, you don't take no for an answer, right? If you apply to 100 jobs and no one answers, you apply to 100 more, right? So, but I'll tell you, if you went to that company and said, hey, I've been thinking about this job and I was thinking about, you guys told me these are your goals. These are the first 3 things I want to work on and I can't wait to get started. I bet you will become their chosen candidate a lot more. So the beautiful thing in this business is we do not have to passively sit and wait. We can start creating the solution for them and demonstrate that we actually have it before we have given it to them. And again, this does not have to be completed, right? So you think about that website person, the new website, she didn't spend hours coding a website and making it. She just created a 10-minute mock-up in Canva and said, this is what I want to build you, right? So there's a tendency to think, okay, that means I got to spend hours and hours and hours building some shit. No, you have to have enough of it to show them the plan is real. And what you'll find, by the way, when you do that, they don't ask, who else have you done this for? Can you give me 87 case studies? Can I call these other people? Because by the way, the biggest reason they're unsold and asking for a case study, they are not sold on your plan. And by the way, one of the easiest ways to find out where you are in a sale is simply to ask people, what do you think of that plan for you? Because if they say, that sounds exactly like what we need, they will buy your thing. If they say, well, I'm not really so sure about that, they're not going to buy it, no matter how many case studies, no matter how much proof you have. So you end up just ending up being the person who looks like this.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying? Are you crying? There's no crying. There's no crying in baseball.
For real though, there's no crying in baseball, so don't cry. So I wanted to show you this because when people are not buying into you, they don't really want case studies. They don't care how many other 100 dentists you've done this for in actual practical fact. What they really want to know is, will this work for me? And if your plan is unclear, it is wishy-washy, which is what most people do. It is more leads, more sales, more customers. Come on down to Frankie Finn's More Emporium. Yeehaw, motherfuckers. Come on down to Frankie Finn's More Emporium. Well, we got more leads. We got more sales. We got more customers. You need more of something? We got you. Leads, sales, customers, clients, patients. We got it all. Just get more of it. That's what most people's plan is, just this undefined more, but not clear actionable items of how we're going to get there. These are the exact keywords. These are the exact rankings you have now. These are the exact changes that need to be made to your website. These are the changes that need to be made to your Google Business Place. This is exactly how many reviews you need. This is exactly the content. By the way, I didn't actually create any of those things until they hired me, but I did create the plan for it. So if you're struggling to get hired and it's not happening consistently, it is because you are waiting for people to give you money to then execute a plan. This is a middle class thinking the hiring manager controls this. What you need to start doing is creating a real tangible plan specific and tailored to that person. And what you'll find is now the conversation is simply give me money to execute it. And more often than not, they're happy to execute it. So this is the biggest reason they're asking you for case studies. I can't say this enough. Is because your plan is wishy-washy. Your plan is wishy-washy. And therefore, they can't see how it can work. And so they would feel better if they talked to 10 other people it worked for. But if your plan is clear and tangible and specific, I want to build you this exact fucking website, what you're going to find is they go, okay, here's my check. Get started. So yes, are case studies advantageous? Yes, of course, when you get them, use them in your marketing. They help, obviously, like if you got case studies. But do you need them? No, absolutely not. And the biggest reason is you are being passive in this process. You are waiting for people to give you money to create a real tangible plan. But I hate to break it to you, you are in entrepreneurship. You do not get paid for everything you do. Go help people, help them create clear, actionable plans. And don't be afraid that, oh, they might steal my plan. The vast majority of people in business don't want to execute this. They're really just looking for you for some level of certainty that you know what you're doing. Same way, like if I hired somebody to build a deck, I don't really want to build a deck, but I want to know that he knows what he's doing. So if he just says, yeah, we'll build you a deck and it'll cost whatever it costs, I'm probably not going to hire him. That's very different if he says, hey, first thing I need to do is measure this out. Me and Chuck over here are going to measure this thing out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to Home Depot. They got a sale on lumber right now. I'm going to calculate based on those measurements exactly how much we need. I can give you down to a penny exactly what it'll cost you. I will text you that quote. You can either give me the thumbs up or thumbs down. Then what I'm going to do is we can't do it today, but I will come by tomorrow if you give me the go ahead. And Chuck and I will build out all the frame. We'll nail everything in. Then we'll put in the final pieces. We'll sand that baby down and we'll stain it. You won't be able to walk on it for a day because of the stain. But after that, you'll have a brand new deck that you can use every single day. And you can have all the barbecues you want. Would you like me to get started? Right? That is a clear plan. I know exactly what he's going to do. If he just says, well, we're experts at building decks, then I'm going to say, well, can I talk to anybody else who's built a deck from you and confirm what you're saying? But if he shows me, I know exactly what to do. As soon as you say yes, then I'm going to give him money. Okay, so I really want you to understand it in that context. People are scared. If I give them plans and I give them ideas, aren't they going to steal it? That is scarcity thinking. That is not reality. The vast majority of people, a dentist wants to be a dentist. He doesn't want to steal your SEO system. A plumber wants to be a plumber. He doesn't want to steal your web design. They don't really care. They just want to know that you know what the fuck you are doing. So I'm kind of raising my voice. I'm obviously a little excited, a little passionate about this topic, but I did this 90-day case study because I wanted to show you guys, you don't need that shit. You don't even need to know anybody in your industry. So anyways, I hope that was helpful to you guys. Make sure to subscribe to this. Much love, and may the force be with you. Hey guys, if you like this video, you may also like my best-selling book here, Beyond the Agency Box. It is all about scaling a digital marketing agency while eliminating meetings and phone calls. We actually sell our stuff phoneless. We don't have any client meetings, and we also hire our team entirely without meeting phone calls, which allows us to, actually kind of live a life. I've laid out the entire blueprint in everything you need to know, getting clients, onboarding, setting expectations, scaling, building a team, you name it. It has been a bestseller on Amazon now for over 5 straight years, but now you can get it even cheaper than you can get it on Amazon. So I can't tell you the exact price because it may change when this video is released, but there should be a link to it below, either in the description of the video or as well as a pinned comment. So if you're interested in that, check out that video and you can get a copy for super cheap.